Hi, Andrew. Thanks for contacting us to have a look at your marketing. And you alluded to in your form that you are after a marketing plan. And I agree. I think you probably do want to have a look overall at your marketing before looking at any sort of particular areas in detail. You mentioned your Google Ads costs are quite high. Um, we often get people coming to us with problems like that, and we may well be able to do something about that. However, it might be that there are other areas that you can work on, not just actually purely your Google Ads account to improve that. So it could be that your website's not converting very well. We look at it like a sort of bucket, and no point pouring so leaky water water into a leaky bucket, as it were. So there are other aspects of your marketing that if those were optimized, you might find you get better value from your paid traffic. But it's also equally possible that your paid traffic could be improved. I'll come back to that at the end in terms of the marketing plan that we would suggest, but I'll go through some sort of more tactical bits that you might find of interest first. Um, so looking at your funnel as a whole, we tend to start at your website. That's where the traffic's coming in. And really want that to be optimized to convert as much as possible, as I mentioned just now. So as much as the traffic that lands on your website, you want to convert into leads or sales, and you don't want to lose that traffic. Um, Overall, looking at your website, I mean, it's got some good images on there, good images of your products and so on. What I would say is the design probably a little bit doesn't. uh, It could look a little bit more professional. That said, looking at some of the other websites in your space, some of them do look don't actually, to be honest, look that professional when I look at them. I mean, they look okay, but this one looks quite professional here. That one looks quite professional. Oh, it's okay. And I've got this one here. Oh, that's the garden room guy. We'll come back to that. So I think the design could be improved overall, aesthetically. You got this sort of one image here, and then kind of half an image showing here, which looks a bit sort of untidy. Of course, one can scroll through the carousel to see that. What we call above the fold is incredibly important. That's the top half of your website. Well, some people will scroll down for more information. A lot of people won't get beyond this point. So you need the top half of your website to be optimized as much as possible. What I would recommend, you've got these numbers to call to book an appointment, which is great. You've got a good call to action there. I would also put in an automatic diary, like a Calendly or similar. Um, the reason being is, some people, yes, will pick up the phone and book it, but it's a lot easier for some people just to click on and choose an appointment at their convenience without sort of calling and discussing with you when's best to talk. I also think actually you can have that as a pop-up when people come off your site, and I think one of your competitors might have something similar to that. So as they leave, you can pop up, possibly booking an appointment. The other thing actually you should do, you've got some really good Google reviews, which is great. So you've got a good product, good service there, but you're not making the most of that on this bit here. What we call social proof is incredibly powerful and helps sell products. You really should be putting your Google reviews above the fold. It could be just one line, average of 5-star Google reviews on Google or whatever it is, 4.9, whatever your average is. So that'd be really important. Possibly a testimonial on there. Um, yeah, I think this is sort of aesthetically it can be tidied up and improved a bit. The images look nice. You've got it doesn't seem to be working out, but I think you did have a chat bot on there. So you got your Google 5-star reviews down here, which is great, but a lot of people won't get that far down the page, so you probably want these up higher. Um, what I would also say is you're probably losing a lot of your traffic. Yeah, these are big ticket items, or high value purchases. So people are unlikely, although it's possible, come onto your website and buy straight away. It's probably a buying cycle of several weeks, several months, even. You would obviously know more about that than myself, but what you probably, I mean, yes, you can get those people ready to buy, but I would suggest you want to be doing something to capture those email addresses of people who've come onto your site. They're in the early sort of research phase, but not quite ready to buy, and you want to be able to capture those email addresses. So I would recommend you could have what we call a lead magnet. So some sort of guide that would be of interest, perhaps it could take many different forms, but as an idea, it could be we could look at it in more detail. But some sort of guide about choosing a garden room, factors to consider, and where you should locate a garden room. planning permissions required or not required for garden rooms, what to look for in choosing a sauna or jacuzzi, those kind of things, which would be of interest potentially to somebody in the research phase, or things to be aware of. Don't make these mistakes when buying saunas, whatever. These are things in their research. So you capture their email address, and the beauty of once you've got their email address, you can then market to them with your an email sequence, an automated email sequence, sort of follow-up sequence that we could help you build. And you can sort of lead them through that buying process and keep in contact with them, and remind them of your services, because they might come on here, have a look, disappear off, have a look somewhere else, and forget about your website. So you want to be bringing them back. That can also be done through remarketing of your Facebook, through Facebook ads and the like as well. I think you can do a little bit on your homepage just to sort of improve it for conversion. You've got a bit about your products. It's okay. I mean, it could be spaced out a little bit more, maybe just a little bit more. Here's it spaced out quite nicely. Um, I think the presentation could be just made a little bit easier to read. You've got your family-run business, which is great. I don't know whether you got there isn't an about you up here. So um, people buy from stories. They like buying a story. So if there's a nice story about your family business, how it came about, how all your family are in it, your children, your grandchildren are involved, and so on, things like that. People like that sort of thing. So you could have a bit about us, or even you know, sort of halfway down your homepage, giving your story. Um, so those are a few things I would look at. And then I'll just click onto your product pages. So if we just have a quick look at here, product pages again, incredibly important. Here, great, you've got your Google reviews up the top, which is great, and you've got a general brochure. Okay, I mean that's okay. You providing some interest. I don't know whether you do. Do you have an email opt-in for that? No, you don't. So you're missing something here. Yes, you'll get fewer downloads, but if somebody's really serious, they won't mind giving their email address for a brochure. But I think you could sort of label it a bit more than just a brochure. It could be, you know, 10 things to consider when buying a garden or something. You could also have a link for a brochure too. Um, and this could be made a little bit more, the presentation could be improved a little bit. And you've got your different options here. Let's have a quick look on one of these. Great, you got some nice images. Which is, yeah, shows what it looks like, what it can look like inside. Um, so you got any furnished? Might be nice. You got some from here furnished. Maybe nice to have some that are inside and furnished, so people can imagine what it looks like. Obviously, it's good to see it empty, but also if they could see clearly inside with desks and whatever in, so people can kind of imagine living in there. And again, you could have your reviews up here as well, any sort of social proof. You can have a little bit more information here. You got some features. What we find is features you do need to mention, but people tend to buy on benefits. So the classic thing is about features is kind of the benefit is kind of the so what to the feature. So it's I don't know, eco-friendly insulated roof. Um, so the sort of benefit might be so what to that. So it reduces the amount of heat loss without and reducing impact on the environment. So things like that help sell, putting the benefits in there. Um, and you got some information there. So you got your promise and your guarantee here. I think things like your promise and your guarantee should be more prominent as well. This guarantee is great, but it's not bottom. It should be up the front, and even on your homepage. Potentially, you should be looking at 10-year guarantee. The other thing is you got your numbers here. You can have click to call buttons here, so people might be on a mobile. You have click to call. That's when you click on it, and it automatically calls through. So there's a few things to think about that. The other thing I looked at the website is your page speed. Let's get to the right tab. I had it opened earlier on. There we go. So Google has this page speed tool. Page speed is incredibly important, particularly on mobile nowadays. Not just for mobile rankings on Google, but it actually affects your other rankings too. So it's out of 100. Your mobile is 27. Now, I appreciate people are unlikely to buy an outdoor space from their mobile, but they might be browsing on their mobile. If you lose people, you lose the vast majority of people within the first couple of seconds. That's also true to paid traffic as well. So you might be losing a lot of your mobile trade page traffic because it's too slow to load. And there's a lot of technical stuff, but often to do with the images and the code on the site. Yeah, code that doesn't need to be in there and so on. So that should be improved. And your desktop's okay, 70. I mean, ideally you want to be up in this sort of 90 to 100. It should be a bit better. So you really want to look at the optimization in terms of page speed for your website. That will help you convert more traffic, and it'll help your rankings on SEO. So yes, when we look at the funnel, we want to be looking at the traffic coming in, capturing as much as that for email and selling as much as possible and booking calls. And then on the back end of your funnel, you want to be optimizing your email campaigns. So having a sequence of automatic emails following up with people, um, you know, in different ways. We have different sort of formulas. We have something called gain, logic, fear, the reasons why people might want to buy your product, giving them more information, and so on. So you've really got your funnel firing as best as you can, and then we say, yeah, let's look at the different traffic and optimize for that. But whilst we're looking at that, we've got a tool here called SEMrush, which is a very useful tool. It gives a lot of overall information here, so it's just general information about your website. I can see you're beginning to rank on some words here. You, it is relatively competitive, um, your um, your space, but there are some words that if we come up, it's just taking a while to load, that you're beginning to rank on. You can see here your position and the search volume. I mean, one here which is interesting is Garden Office Pod, which has got 12,000 searches a month, which is pretty big. You've gone from 67 to 26. It may be a bit unstable that, but yeah, things like that. We tend to, if we're doing SEOs, work on keywords where you've already been indexed by Google, but you want to be higher. So you've already been recognized as relevant to those keywords, but we just want to boost that and try and get that onto page one. So there may be some opportunities. These colors represent how relatively easy or difficult they are. It's not certainly not a slam dunk, but there are possibly some keywords we could look into for you and look at ranking on. Um, Interesting on the traffic analytics, I've put in some of your competitors you gave here, and you can look at where they're getting their traffic from. Obviously, a big one here is Dunster House. You can see a lot direct. It's getting Google page traffic. It's getting quite a lot on there. So Google AdWords and SEO is getting a bit, and Yahoo, and these other ones here. And you can see here the different color graphs for who's doing what referrals. People getting it from search, a bit of social media, and a bit of paid traffic there. And you can see who's doing what there. So there are sort of opportunities there potentially. Um, and then that was the page just looked at already. And this is a keyword gap. This shows the keywords we put in for your website and your competitor's website you mentioned. And it shows what you're ranking for and what they're ranking for. Now, some of these clearly aren't going to be quite too generic and not relevant to your office. Is too generic. You need to look through here that there are a lot of different keywords, but we've got your website and other ones where they're ranking, monthly search volume. These are approximations. CPC, how difficult it is. 100, very, very difficult, and red for difficult, green a bit easier. So we can scroll down. Garden chairs, maybe not. Garden rooms, potentially relevant to you. That's got a high search volume. You're not ranking on that, but yeah, it's a massive search volume, but it's pretty difficult to rank for. And so on, garden storage, maybe not. Garden office, again, that's pretty difficult to rank for, but you'll see some of your competitors are ranking, um, and so forth. I mean, there are a lot of keywords in here. A lot won't be relevant to you, some will, and that's again something we could do as research to see what's relevant for you if we were to go down the SEO route. And then that's related to that. So, and then I had a quick look at your Facebook. You've got a few followers on there. I noticed you're not running any ads. We would recommend doing some retargeting ads. So you can, people who visit your website, you can run ads to in your Facebook feed. That can be a very cost effective way of doing it. Remind people that they've been to visit you and haven't bought. You can also run lookalike audiences, so we can get your email list of customers and run ads that are people who've got similar characteristics to your current customers. And it's amazing how effective that can be. Not for everybody, we'd have to test it, but it can be very effective in finding the right customers. Your images and stuff would work potentially well. We have to test in Facebook and Instagram as well. Some nice images and stuff. You could do more informational type stuff on here as well, not just selling things, but but guides and general information. Um, and yeah, tidy up some of the copy a little bit, but and certainly run some ads. And then likewise on Instagram, you got some nice images and stuff going on there, but you could build on that and promote to that. The other thing I was going to mention is so these are sort of a few areas, sort of more tactical areas. As I mentioned at the beginning, I alluded to. I'm just going to get my. Oh, excuse me. I can find it. Uh-huh. Misplaced it. Maybe 1 second. Um, so I just open it up. It's not in there. I'll just show you what we can work with. Just maybe 1 second. So these are examples of okay. So custom avatar and the back. Okay. So what we've got here, we mentioned earlier on. I think what I would recommend is to look at your overall marketing and build up a marketing plan from that. And we've got a few tools. We're partners with digital marketer certified partners, so we're authorized to use their growth tools that they've developed, doubling the size of close to 10,000 businesses worldwide. Developed basically with lots of different businesses like yours, and looking at best practices. And one of the core things in their marketing planning is what they call the value journey, and looking at your customers from the point where they initially become aware of your business to them engaging with your website and your content. So subscribing, signing up to a lead magnet, potentially buying something of lower value, seeing the value of your products, buying your main offer, and then you possibly having upsells if relevant to your business. Maybe we can come across stuff, and then becoming giving reviews, which you've got on yours, and then promoting and becoming loyal fans. So it basically takes the journey from customers not knowing anything about you to being aware through this what we call customer value journey through to what we call loyal raving fans who are becoming your promoters and writing reviews. And there's a sort of process for that, and we go through that. And we'll look at each of these stages in your customer value journey to make sure you're optimized for those. So the paid traffic side would be the awareness side, and so we may be able to look at that. But there could be other areas within this that we would want to optimize first that you're not so strong at, that'll actually help you make more money on the back end out of your business. And we'll also look at your customer avatar or persona, and that's very important in terms of who we're targeting. So where they are before they've come in contact with you, where they hang out, what their age groups, what their frustrations, their fears, yeah, what the reasons why they want to buy. And that's sometimes fairly obvious things, but sometimes we dig a little bit deeper and see if there are any other issues around status and psychological reasons why they might buy a customer's product. And there are a few other tools we work with, and we'll build up a marketing plan for you. And help you optimize that, and we can look at scorecards and measurements of these different areas, so you can monitor them on a monthly basis towards your goals. And we have a process for choosing projects and areas to target and focus on those on a rolling sort of 90-day basis. So those are all things that we could work with you on. And if you want, we can work on the purely sort of tactical side of things. But we would suggest, actually, I think there is a lot of opportunity for your business. But having an overall marketing plan would probably be the best next approach. And we can prepare that with you, and then you can either work with us on that or use it for somebody else. So I hope that's of interest. Yeah, if you would like to take it further, please do book an appointment with us, and we can discuss it in more detail. Thank you for your time.